Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Underground Racing Series. Tonight, we're with Group 2. If you remember, we've got two groups for the Underground Racing Series, 5 races in total, and it's the top 3 teams out of each group which are going to go on to December's Grand Final. So this week, as I said, we are in Watopia, and it is the hilly route. Let's take a look at tonight's teams in Group 2. Let's take a look at the teams first of all. So we've got Fusion Colo Quick with Anders, Johan, Mads, Matthias Leeson. Of course, he was Wednesday Worlds winner this week. Nicholas Becker as well. We've got a team of 5 riders also from Mutant. James Young, the standout rider there, along with Stephen Kenny, Tom, Xavier and Greg. And then we've got Ben Ruth, of course, who was last month's winner, should I say, of the Underground Racing League from NZ Bro. It is worth noting that NZ Bro are down to 3 riders this evening, or this morning, in fact, it is, I think, down in New Zealand. And I know a few of the team are mountain bike racing this weekend also. But Ben is joined by Thomas Williams, and Aaron Bleakley also will be taking the start line. We've then got 4 riders from Restart. Adrian, we've got Daniel Jamrozik, or Jammers, also there. Mike from Restart, and then it's Team Castelli powered by Elite. We've got Max, Francesco, Luca, Manuel, Matteo, and Nicolo, who also, I think Nicolo is actually DSing for the team this evening. So let's have a look at the results as they were last month. So again, it was Ben Ruth taking that victory, overhauling Jammers, I think, in the final few hundred meters. If you want to re-watch Race 1 from Group 2, that is available over on that YouTube channel. But again, tonight's route, we are indeed on the hilly Watopia route. So we're going to take on this forward climb, this 900-meter twisty drag out of Watopia up to the top of that summit there, and we're going to be doing that twice. So it is 2 laps. We are at the standard finish line, or at least we should be at the standard finish line down in downtown Watopia. The last time we rode this was on Series 1. In fact, it was the final race that we had on Series 1. And I think it was a rider from NZ Bro that took the victory in that particular race. But if you remember, in Series 1, it was BL13, in fact, who took the overall victory. A slightly different format this time around, though, because we've got 2 groups who are trying to qualify for that grand final, which, of course, is going to take place in December. So let's have a look who we have on the start line. Let's make sure we've got the right screen in front of us here. We've got about 10 seconds here. So this evening as well, unfortunately, you are just stuck with me. We've got Kevin O'Pelly as one of those NZ Bro riders who, in fact, is mountain biking this weekend. But we should be able to get in straight into the action as we jump out on course with one of the riders from Mutant here. So here we are here with Williams from NZ Bro. So this is the first chance I also have had a chance to look at this particular group, because of course we live covered Group 1 last time around. Let's keep ourselves near the front. So again, we're riding with Kenny from Mutant here as well. It'd be interesting to see. I wonder if, I don't think Mutant have got Mason Rocker racing for them this time, but of course Mason did race the last time around in the last series, Mason being the US Esports champion, winning the national series there over on the RGT platform. So again, it's Castelli powered by Elite. We have Mutants, we have Restart Racing, NZ Bro and Fusion here tonight. So I think we've got 22 riders in total. And very, very quickly, we're going to head straight in to this first little climb up the Zwift KQOM. So we're going to take a loop around here, and it's going to be interesting. Again, we did have riders all over the road the last time we covered this course. And this is what we encourage in this series. We want to see riders attacking. We want to see the aggression from the teams, putting it out there on the line. very much the same way that we want to see this roll out on Wednesday Worlds that Nathan's taking charge of on a Wednesday evening. Part of this regular Zwift series, but you can see we're all together at the moment. We're starting to see some yellow numbers, orange numbers should I say, early on here. We're just going to cruise at the back here. In fact, let's take a ride with Ben Ruth. No doubt Ben is going to be keen to follow up on last month's victory. But it's all parity, all rides together, just pushing a mediocre 6-7 watts a kilo here up this climb. All together the first time round as we take a look at those iconic statues on the right hand side here. And we're going to switch left up the Zwift com here. So a short but stingy com this, and it is the first 400 meters of this com that often sting the legs. And then you see this, particularly the A riders, just keeping that pressure on early doors. And we are seeing that here with a few riders just stretching the legs, 6.5 watts a kilo at the front here. And it is the riders from Restart who are just pushing the pace along with Castelli. So Castelli powered by Elite, of course, formerly Team Italy. And it's Frison from Mutant here. And he's turned up to the event in the green jersey, no doubt to intimidate some of his fellow competitors. It'll be interesting to see what Ben Ruth has to say about that. If you are on chat and you want to ask some questions, please let's join in. Any questions, comments on what we're seeing in tonight's action? And what we will be doing also, ladies and gentlemen, is we will be following up tomorrow and putting the coverage from Group 1 in there. One of the riders kindly recording the coverage over there. And of course, Group 1, we've got Next, Esports, BL13, to name a few of the teams. Racing Without Borders also over in Group 1. But all together here. And it is Jammers just on the front, pushing the pace here. Along with a Fusion rider, James Young from Mutant. And in fact, I think it's James Young and Mutant. In fact, donning a new jersey this evening. Mutant normally are in the black jerseys, but this evening they're donning green. Just trying to play with my commentary, I think. So we're going to descend down and start to head back towards Watopia. So we're 3 kilometers into an 18-kilometer race here. And we're all together. So yeah, if you're new to this series, there are no primes or preems, should we say, on this. It is a flat-out scratch race, but I say it's all about encouraging these attacks, encouraging the high watt power riders to do their magic and make the sprinters suffer a little bit. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a couple of riders already accelerate off the front. Let's take a look what's happening. And this is what we like to see. So it's a Restart rider here. Sarnecki, in fact, pushing on the descent. And again, this is not something we always see, but it is what we're seeing. Any opportunity to attack in the Underground series, these riders are taking it, just trying to string it out. And that is exactly what's happening here. So yes, no preems, it's all a scratch race. 5 riders per team. Each rider, so it's finish line points only, and the cumulative points from the team will of course push those teams to the top. So this is all about team standings. So you will see riders doing the teamwork here for their teammates, lining it up for the sprinters if we stay together on the important parts through this series. And then, as I said, it's the top 3 teams from each group. We've got 2 groups which are going to go through to a one-off grand final in December. That's mid-December. Just to highlight as well, all these riders are from top 50 ranked Zwift Power teams. So this is the creme de la creme. This is the elite according to Zwift Power rankings. And And it's a Fusion rider here off the front. Leclerc from Restart putting in the chase. Just pulling the group back up to the Fusion rider sat here on the front. So in terms of who they're expected to win, well, we've got a group here, a peloton full of absolute hitters. These guys are monsters when it comes to putting out the watts. We have some big name sprinters, but we've also got some big FTP diesel engines in this particular group. So who knows? It depends what's going to happen on the climb and also through this SE section. The last time we rode this course, it was actually 3 riders that went clear through this particular section. Once we'd gone through the Italian village, through the S's, who took the victory. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Once again, we've got 3 riders off the front here. 4 riders, in fact, off the front. Zanaska, Sonecki, James Young also here. But we can see the orange numbers also in the chase. Trying to close this gap. Make sure the riders are not getting away. NZ Bro in particular will be working to try and keep this together because of course they have reduced numbers in the field tonight, but also they've got Ben Ruth who can put out those big numbers in that sprint. So no doubt they will be trying to shake Ben Ruth off here. So we can see a nice little group of 7 riders just breaking clear here. We don't have to worry about these sprint segments. And in fact, we are sitting on with Ben Ruth now, you can see. Ben Ruth just trying to jump across to this lead group with Frijon from Mutant here. Hopefully not trying to take too many riders with them. But Ben Ruth absolutely going to make the... In fact, it's Frijon here making that junction. Ben Ruth just sitting back in that second group. But this front group is getting a little bit large, I think, so I don't expect this to stay away. I think we've got too many riders here from the Fusion team. I think Fusion getting 3 riders in this front group, and there we are back together. So it remains 22 riders in this front group. We're going to go straight over the bridge into the S's. We may not see any action the first time through here, the S's, but no doubt, if the group is still this size the second time through here, I do expect fireworks through the S's. This is exactly where we saw matches being burnt, fuses being lit the first time we raced this course in Season 1. So again, if you are in chat, what do you think? What are we seeing? Who's going to take the win? Where does your money lie? No doubt we've got a few riders also in chat. Or at least a few DSs in chat here. But again, you can see as we go through the S's, that little ramp that we take as we leave that bridge and leave past the Italian villas, that we are seeing some orange numbers here. But we are all together. And we're seeing riders from Fusion and Mutants. Some smart riders in there. You can see some riders just trying to super tuck on these short descents that you do get on the S's. Smart rider just trying to grab that recovery wherever you can. So I said we're going to roll through the S's here. In a couple of 100 meters time, we're going to take that right-hand turn back down towards Watopia. This lap being 9.1 kilometers. The lead in on this course is only 500 meters long, of course. But 9.1 kilometers per lap, 18 kilometers, just over 18 kilometers per lap. In fact, we're on with Leclerc here from Restart. One of the Canadian riders here from Restart, just extending the legs. And again, Fusion, it's Fletchberg here from Fusion. Fusion have been very alert to these breaks. Very keen to mix up and get in the action early, which is what we want to see. There are possibilities, it's worth highlighting, there are possibilities on this series to pick up the combative points. If we see a particular rider that has gone beyond and pushed those limits, been really aggressive, there are additional points for the most combative rider. And it's been difficult so far to pick one rider, but certainly if I was to pick a team so far, it is Fusion who've been trying to push the pace And again, we're seeing a little bit of a split in the group here. It's only 1 second. This is going to come back together here. And again, it is an NZ Bro rider just closing that gap down. There's some very fashionable orange glasses we're seeing there. From the Fusion rider, and once again, a Fusion rider pushing off the front. Who have we got this time? It is Becca. So Becca off the front here, 7.8 watts a kilo as we go through the start-finish line. This is the first lap. Remember, this is the first lap of 2 races. We're going to loop around out of Watopi here now and head back towards the Zwift KOM. Interestingly, using an aero power up there just to try and make sure he stays away. So this is a determined effort here, 7 watts a kilo. You can see that the chase group down at 3 watts a kilo. This group is extending. This is absolutely the biggest gap we've seen. 5 seconds here. Becca pushing the pace, our Swiss rider. And it is Kenny from Mutant on the front, just pushing a gentle 3 watts a kilo, dare I say it. And also Team Castelli powered by Elite on the front now. So interesting that Fusion and Team Castelli not reacting. They've been the most keen to get involved so far, but happy to let Becca go. But we are seeing a bit of a reaction now here. It's all about this climb. Becca can keep a plus 10-second lead over here and then roll over the top. We may see the group again just back off as we get over the top. We are seeing a chase, and it is the NASCAR here. Solo rider pushing on the pace, 7.5 watts a kilo. Are we seeing a reaction from the riders behind? No, it's Ben Ruth on the front. 7.5 watts a kilo also, but still 4 seconds back. Becca continuing to push those watts at 7 watts a kilo. So that gap now, 9 seconds to Zaneska, 15 seconds, 14 seconds back to the chasing group. Zaneska has to keep this pressure on. Becca has to hold this 7 watts a kilo. I do not think this is going to be enough. I think Becca is going to need Zaneska to close this gap. It will take 2 of them down the other side if they want to work together. As we've seen a third rider, and it is Ruth from NZ Bro doing all the work to chase these 2 riders down. Surprising to see because we know Ben Ruth has a finish, but he's also got the legs to close this gap. How many matches is Ben using here on these early stages of the final lap? We can see this gap coming right down to 3-4 seconds to these front 2 riders. Zaneska and Becca have to continue to push here. What is the gap looking like? Well, it's Ruth and Young here doing the work on the front. We can see a feather power up from Kenny from Mutant, also trying to jump across to his teammate James Young. And it's Zaneska rolled over the top there, the Fusion rider up front. Let's try and jump up to the front 2 riders. So these 2 riders now, they need to work together. They've got to take these pulls. Are we going to see the elbow flick from Zaneska as Becca pulls through? Or are we going to see some natural instinct? These riders know exactly what to do. So we've got Zaneska, Becca out front, 3 seconds over Ben Ruth and James Young. And we've got Jammers on the front there from restart of the chasing group, 6 and 7 seconds back. Trying to close that gap. That peloton has indeed closed the gap there, I think, on James Young and Ben Ruth. Let's take a quick look. But James Young just hanging on out there. 9.5 watts a kilo. This gap is once again is going out. James Young is going to close this gap. Make this junction across to Zaneska and Becca here. Great work, but he has to continue. He has to keep the pressure on. So here we are, the leading through. James Young, Becca and Zaneska with a 6-second gap over the chasing group with Ben Ruth suffering there in no man's land, 3 seconds back, but up in the watts to 7 watts a kilo. 8 watts a kilo there from Ben Ruth. I really want to see what's happening with Ben Ruth's heart rate here. 184 beats a minute, 165 beats a minute here from Ruth. Really suffering here in no man's land, and great to see here the orange numbers in this lead group continuing to apply the pressure. We are into the final 5.5 kilometers here, and it's Zaneska, Becker, James Young out front. 4 seconds over Ben Ruth, 8 seconds over the chasing peloton. All these guys going to manage to hold on to the end. Remember, we've got to head straight through the Italian villas. We've got to go through the S's. The legs will be hurting as we go through the S's. Hey, I can see Ewan's in chat. How are we doing? Ewan, you should have joined me in commentary tonight. But you would have absolutely needed to mind your P's and Q's, young man. So it is Becker, Zaneski, and Young maintaining this lead over Ben Ruth at 6 seconds. So if the YouTube family are wondering why they can't see the Twitch chat, I do apologise. In the Twitch chat, you also cannot see the YouTube chat. Ewan, you'll be glad to know that all the filters have been removed from chat, so you should be safe for another evening. Don't take that as an invitation. But there you go. James Young, Zaneska, and Becker here. 7 seconds over the chasing group. Ben Ruth dropped himself back there to the peloton. It is crunch time. We're into the final 5 kilometers. The final 4 kilometers are approaching. Zaneska easing off the pressure. Sitting in there as we head over the bridge. We're going to start to head towards the Italian villas. Then it will be crunch time as we go through the S's. But this is slowly coming back here, and it is restart, pulling back. We saw Jammers on the front here earlier. Julia here from Restart, working on the front of 5 watts a kilo to close this gap, and indeed we're down to 4 seconds. This little rise before we get to the village. But these riders are determined, as we saw the rider from Fusion there upping into the orange numbers, 8 watts a kilo. This gap holding at 4 seconds. And it is Zaneski. You do wonder now, these watts have dropped down 5 watts a kilo. And indeed, this is going to come back as we approach the village. What are we going to see as we head into the S's? Are we going to see some fireworks? We do not want to see this go down to a group sprint. We want to see fireworks through the village. We want to see fireworks through the S's. And indeed, it is Jammers heading off the front here. Daniel Jamrotsky, Rosic from Restart, 6.5 watts a kilo, pushing the pace. Very easy to spot in those orange Ray-Bans. Are they Ray-Bans? They may not be Ray-Bans. The orange eyewear. And a very interesting haircut. I know I have seen pictures of Jammers in real life. And his hair is not that long and not that grey. But we're back together. Jammers keeping on. 6 watts a kilo here. Fleshberg from Fusion. I do apologise to any riders if I'm mispronouncing your name here. And it is Ben Ruth back on the front here. After spending all that time in no man's land, Ben Ruth is back on the front, making sure the competition know he is there. So we're going to roll through the sprint banner, roll straight over the bridge, and then we roll straight into the S's, this up and down rolling section. If you don't want to be involved in sprint, if you want to make your jump early, this is the place to do it. We are in to the final 2.5 kilometers. We got about 1,500 meters that we're going to roll through the S's, and then it's a 1 kilometer or just shy of 1 kilometer flat out effort to the end. We are seeing a rider move off the front. Who are we sat with here? It's one of the Fusion riders. It's Leeson. Leeson with that win on Wednesday night in New York. Utilising the anvil to very good effect, I noticed, to take the win on Wednesday Worlds. If you don't know what Wednesday Worlds is, go and check out Nathan Gira's Zwift channel, Twitch channel, should I say. Wednesday World. If you want to ride the best of the best, race the best of the best on Zwift, that is the race to go. I know that some of our viewers and some of our team in chat have done that. I've been there myself and suffered and been dropped, I had. But it is Leeson on the front here. No doubt doing some work for some teammates at 4.5 watts a kilo. Keeping everyone honest. Keeping the pressure on. But it is James Young and Kenny from Mutant sat on the front. 3 watts a kilo, not letting this gap extend too far. They know Leeson is a dangerous, dangerous rider. I'm not sure I can say Barnes because Barnes is in Barnes is part of Group 1, right? So next, powered by Ensured, are in Group 1. And indeed, their race will be published tomorrow. But if we can, we will take a look at the results this evening. But this is it. We're approaching the final kilometre. We're going to leave the S's and we're going to take the right-hand turn and head towards that finishing banner. And it is Jammers pushing off the front here. 11 watts a kilo, 10 watts a kilo. Is this work for a teammate or is this an attempt to take the victory? 9.5 watts a kilo here. We've got riders from Fusion chasing. We've got Odam from Mutant also hot on the tail, utilising this power up. But it is Jammers maintaining the pressure on the front at 8.5 watts a kilo. We're heading home. We're into the final 500 meters. You see there, Jammers totally backed off James Young here. And it is James Young. 12.8 watts a kilo off the front, applying the feather power up. Who have we got chasing James Young? And there we go, 18 kilometers, that is the finish. Let's see if we can take a look at the finish in a bit more detail. So I will say it was a custom finish that we had this evening. And there you go, we're just looking at the instant replay. It was James Young sprinting over the line with 300 meters to go. James Young let that sprint go at 13 watts a kilo. So indeed, James Young this evening taking the victory. I'm going to try and jump over and see if we can take a look at those results live. Just bear with me, as we know, sometimes it does take a little while for the results to feed through. But I'm going to try and jump across and we will let this replay of that finishing gallop just finish there. So as I said, it was a custom finish this evening. So the race finished at 18 kilometers. But obviously the racers there would have seen there we go. So I do have the results in. So we're going to jump over to the results screen. And there we have it. So indeed, James Young taking the victory there for Mutant. 23 minutes of racing. An average watts a kilo of 4.8 watts per kilo. 355 watts there. And it was the restart rider, Villiers, taking second. Ben Ruth, despite being stuck in no man's land there, taking third there for NZ Bro. NZ Bro managing to get 2 riders in the top 10. Then it's Frijon there from Mutant taking 5th. Williams, Thomas Williams, NZ Bro backing up his teammate there in 6th place. Zenaska, after all that work on the front there by Team Castelli, taking 7th. Becker, also one of those leading riders in that group, taking 8th. Jammers, Daniel Rosic taking 9th. And it's Leclerc from Restart. So Restart, again, getting 3 riders in the top 10. And it was Restart indeed who took the victory. The team victory, should I say, from Group 1. So, thank you very much for joining us this evening for Group 2, Race 2 of the Underground Racing Series. Let's say Group 1 also was taking place this evening. We're going to publish their race tomorrow, and we'll go through the results. Don't forget that next race will be next month, so 4 weeks from now. Stay tuned, like and subscribe either to the Twitch and the YouTube channel if you're not. Have a great weekend's training, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget now you can go and watch the Premier Division, or what it's not called, the Grand Prix now, the Zwift Grand Prix with the ladies who are racing this evening. And I'll see you soon.